All right, so you're gearing up for an ICT Product Manager interview, and we're going deep with RoleCatcher's resources to help you absolutely nail it. We've got their career guide, interview tips, and even some common questions they've pulled from real interviews.
Hmm.
Consider this your crash course in interview domination.
Yeah, what's really exciting here is that we're going beyond just surface level advice. We're going to try and equip you with strategies and insights, really to help you stand out from the crowd.
Okay, so before we get into the questions themselves, let's paint a picture of what an ICT product manager actually does day to day.
Sure, they're basically the architects of tech products. So they're analyzing market trends, understanding customer needs, and then mapping out the journey to bring those solutions to life. It's a super fast-paced role, and it's constantly evolving with technology.
So you need to be adaptable, analytical, and like a master communicator.
Yeah, exactly. You're leading the charge, making sure everyone's on board with the vision, and steering the ship toward success.
Love it. Okay. Let's dive into the interview questions. These are pulled straight from RoleCatcher's resources based on real ICT product manager interviews.
Right, sounds good.
So first up, can you describe your experience with product development? What's the interviewer really trying to gauge here?
Well, this question is all about assessing your practical experience. They want to see if you've actually, walked the walk, not just talk the talk.
So just listing job titles isn't going to cut it.
No, not at all. You need to highlight specific projects, your contributions to those projects, the challenges you overcame, and the results you achieved. Think back to a project where you really made a difference, and use quantifiable achievements to tell your story.
Okay, so RoleCatcher actually provides a fantastic example here. They suggest saying something like, in my previous role, I led the development of a cloud-based platform for the healthcare industry. I collaborated with engineers, designers, and marketing to bring this product to market in just 6 months, resulting in a 25% increase in customer acquisition.
Yeah, that's a perfect illustration. It's concise, it's specific, and it highlights both the process and the results.
And what about follow-up questions on this? What kind of things might they dig into?
Yeah, so they might ask you to elaborate on specific challenges you faced during that project, how you overcame them, or what key decisions you made along the way.
So be prepared to go deeper, showcasing your problem-solving abilities and your ability to navigate complex situations.
Exactly. And always tie your answers back to the skills and experiences that are relevant to the ICT product manager role.
Okay, love that advice. Next question. How do you stay up to date with emerging technologies and industry trends? I have a feeling they're looking for someone who is passionate and curious here, someone who's always learning.
Yeah, you're spot on. It's about demonstrating a genuine interest in the field and a commitment to continuous learning. It's not just about knowing the buzzwords. It's about understanding how those technologies impact the ICT landscape.
So how should you approach this question? Should you just say, I read a lot?
Oh, definitely not. Be specific. Name the publications you read, the podcasts you listen to, the industry events you attend, the thought leaders you follow. Showcase the breadth and depth of your knowledge sources.
Like that, okay. And RoleCatcher even suggests dropping specific names. They say something like, I'm an avid reader of publications like TechCrunch and Wired, and I closely follow industry experts like, and then mention specific names, on social media. I also attend conferences like CES and Mobile World Congress to stay ahead of the curve.
Perfect. That paints a much clearer picture of your commitment to staying informed and shows that you're genuinely engaged with the industry.
Okay, so be specific. Name those resources and let your passion shine through. Now, what about potential follow-up questions for this one?
Sure, so they might ask you to elaborate on a specific trend that you find interesting, how you see it impacting the ICT industry, or even your thoughts on how to leverage a particular technology for product development.
Okay, so be ready to share your insights and showcase your ability to connect the dots between emerging technologies and real-world applications. Okay, next question. How do you prioritize feature development when creating a new ICT product?
All right, so with this question, they're assessing your strategic thinking and your ability to make tough decisions. Remember, ICT product development is a balancing act.
Right, so just saying, I use a spreadsheet probably won't impress them. What should you focus on instead?
Yeah, instead walk them through your process. Explain how you gather and analyze user feedback, how you assess market trends and competitor landscapes, and what frameworks or methodologies you use to prioritize features. You could even mention using Moscow, so that's must have, should have, could have, won't have, or RACE e-scoring, which is reach, impact, confidence, effort.
Okay, and RoleCatcher provides a really insightful example here. They suggest saying something like, I utilize a combination of data-driven analysis and user-centric design thinking. I gather feedback through surveys, focus groups, and A/B testing. I analyze market trends to identify opportunities, and then prioritize features based on their potential impact on key business objectives, such as customer acquisition or revenue growth.
Perfect. That response demonstrates a clear understanding of the prioritization process, incorporating both quantitative and qualitative data points.
And it shows you can balance those customer needs with business goals, which is essential for a successful ICT product. Now, what about follow-up questions here?
They might ask you to dive deeper into a specific prioritization framework you mentioned, how you handle conflicting priorities from different stakeholders, or how you communicate those prioritization decisions to your team.
Okay, so be ready to provide concrete examples. Showcase your ability to navigate those complex situations, always keeping the big picture in mind.
That's it. You want to demonstrate that you're not just a task manager, but a strategic thinker who can make tough calls that drive product success.
Now, before we move on to the next question, let's sprinkle in some career insights from RoleCatcher's ICT Product Manager Career Guide.
Okay, sounds good.
It's important to think beyond just acing this one interview and consider your long-term career trajectory as an ICT product manager.
Right, that's a really good point.
So the guide highlights that this role can be a stepping stone to various leadership positions, like senior product manager, director of product management, or even chief product officer.
Yeah, that's a pretty exciting path, and it's a testament to the impact and influence that ICT product managers can have within an organization.
But it's not all smooth sailing, right? The guide also mentions the importance of continuous learning. Certifications, workshops, keeping up with the latest tech. It's all essential for career progression in this fast-paced field.
Oh, absolutely. The technology landscape is constantly evolving, and ICT product managers need to stay ahead of the curve to remain competitive.
All right, back to those interview questions. This next one is your chance to showcase your wins. Can you describe a time when you launched a successful ICT product?
Okay, so with this one, you get to tell a compelling story about your accomplishments. The interviewer wants to hear about your role in a successful launch, the challenges you faced, how you collaborated with others, and what metrics demonstrate that success.
So don't just say, it was a success. Quantify it, right? Did you increase user engagement? Did you achieve a revenue target? Or maybe improve a key performance indicator?
Exactly. Use specific numbers and concrete examples to back up your claims. And remember, highlight your teamwork and leadership skills.
Okay, and RoleCatcher suggests using the STAR method here. So that's situation, task, action, result to structure your answer.
Yeah, that's a fantastic tip. Really, for any behavioral interview question, it helps you tell a cohesive story that highlights your contributions.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions here?
Well, they might ask you to elaborate on the decision-making process, how you handled unexpected challenges during the launch, or how you measured the success of the product post-launch.
So be prepared to dive deeper into the specifics and showcase your ability to think on your feet and adapt to changing circumstances.
Yeah, exactly. And don't forget to highlight the impact of your contributions on the overall success of the product.
Okay, let's move on to a question that digs into your analytical skills. How do you measure the success of an ICT product?
All right, this question is all about showcasing your data-driven approach. The interviewer wants to see if you can identify the right key performance indicators, so that's KPIs, and use data to inform your decisions.
So it's not enough to just say, it's successful if people like it. What should you focus on instead?
Yeah, explain your framework for setting KPIs and tracking performance. Mention specific metrics that are relevant to ICT products, going beyond just generic ones like user engagement.
So for example, you could talk about things like data security compliance, network uptime, or API response times.
Yeah, exactly. Those are great examples. These metrics reflect the specific performance and reliability aspects that are critical for ICT products. And tie your chosen metrics to concrete business objectives, like reducing customer churn or improving operational efficiency.
And I like how RoleCatcher puts it. They suggest saying something like, I believe in setting clear and measurable KPIs that align with the overall business goals. For ICT products, I focus on metrics like user adoption rate, customer churn rate, feature usage frequency, data security compliance, and network uptime. By tracking these KPIs, I can gain insights into product performance and identify areas for improvement.
Perfect. That response demonstrates a deep understanding of what drives success in the ICT space and a data-driven approach to product management.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to explain how you choose specific KPIs, how you collect and analyze data, or how you use those insights to inform product decisions.
Okay, so be prepared to walk them through your process step by step. showcasing your analytical skills and your ability to translate data into actionable insights.
Exactly. You want to demonstrate that you're not just a data enthusiast, but a strategic thinker who can leverage data to drive product success.
Okay, before we move on to the next question, I want to touch on a crucial point from RoleCatcher's guide, the importance of networking and building relationships.
Yeah, that's true. Building a strong network within the ICT industry can open doors to new opportunities, provide valuable insights, and give you a competitive edge.
And the guide suggests attending industry events, joining online communities, and connecting with people on platforms like LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Building relationships with other professionals in the field can be invaluable for career growth and staying informed about industry trends.
Okay, back to the questions. This next one explores your familiarity with agile development methodologies. Can you describe your experience with agile development methodologies?
All right, this is a common one in tech interviews, especially for roles that involve software development. The interviewer wants to know if you understand agile principles and have practical experience applying them.
So just saying, I've heard of agile isn't going to cut it.
No, definitely not. Share specific examples of how you've applied agile methodologies in your previous roles. Talk about the frameworks you've used, like Scrum or Kanban, and how those frameworks influenced your work.
So for example, you could mention how you participated in daily stand-up meetings, wrote user stories, groomed the backlog, or facilitated sprint retrospectives.
Exactly. Those are tangible examples that demonstrate your understanding of agile principles in practice. And remember, avoid overusing jargon or claiming expertise in every agile methodology under the sun. Focus on the practical application and how it helped you deliver value to customers.
And RoleCatcher provides a nice example here. In my previous role, I was part of the Scrum team that released new features on a bi-weekly sprint cycle. I was responsible for writing user stories, grooming the backlog, and participating in daily stand-up meetings. This agile approach enabled us to respond to customer feedback quickly and iteratively improve our product.
Yeah, that's a great example because it demonstrates a clear understanding of Scrum principles and provides specific examples of how those principles were applied.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to elaborate on a specific agile project, discuss the challenges of working in an agile environment, or ask about your preferred agile tools and techniques.
So be ready to go deeper and showcase your practical experience. Okay, let's move on to a question that's all about communication and stakeholder management. How do you manage stakeholder expectations during the product development process?
All right, this one is critical. ICT product managers work with a wide range of stakeholders: engineers, designers, marketing teams, executives, even customers.
So just saying, I keep everyone happy isn't going to cut it.
Definitely not. Stakeholder management is about much more than keeping people happy. It's about setting clear expectations, communicating transparently, and finding solutions that align with both business goals and stakeholder needs.
What's a good way to approach this question then?
Okay, explain your process for keeping stakeholders informed, gathering feedback, and resolving conflicts. Highlight your communication skills and your ability to build consensus. Mention specific tools or techniques you use, such as regular status updates, stakeholder meetings, or feedback surveys.
RoleCatcher suggests saying something like, I believe in open and transparent communication with stakeholders. I establish a regular cadence of meetings and status updates. To keep everyone informed about progress and potential roadblocks, I also actively solicit feedback from stakeholders and use that feedback to inform product decisions.
Yeah, that's a solid response because it emphasizes proactive communication, transparency, and a willingness to incorporate feedback.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to describe a specific situation where you had to manage conflicting stakeholder expectations, how you resolved a disagreement, or how you measure stakeholder satisfaction.
So be ready to provide concrete examples that showcase your ability to navigate those challenging situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Now let's move on to the final question for this part of our deep dive. This one focuses on cross-functional collaboration. How do you collaborate with cross-functional teams during the product development process?
Okay, so this builds on the previous question and emphasizes the importance of teamwork and communication. ICT product managers can't work in silos. They need to collaborate effectively with various teams: engineering, marketing, sales, customer support, and more.
So what are some key points to hit when answering this question?
Yeah, share examples of how you've built relationships, communicated effectively, and resolved conflicts across different functional areas. Highlight your ability to understand different perspectives and work towards a shared goal.
And a pitfall here might be claiming to be a perfect collaborator
Mm.
or downplaying the challenges of cross-functional teamwork.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to acknowledge those challenges and explain how you overcome them. Talk about specific strategies you use, like establishing clear communication channels, facilitating collaborative workshops, or actively seeking feedback from different team members.
RoleCatcher provides a helpful tip here. Focus on demonstrating strong interpersonal and communication skills. Show that you can listen actively, build consensus, and navigate different working styles.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Collaboration is all about finding common ground and leveraging the strengths of each team member.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
Okay, they might ask you to describe a specific cross-functional project you worked on, how you handle the disagreement between teams, or how you ensure alignment on goals and priorities across different functions.
Okay, so be prepared to provide those specific examples that showcase your collaborative approach and your ability to navigate those complex team dynamics.
Exactly.
Great, so we've covered 8 common interview questions and provided insights into how to approach them effectively.
Yeah, and we've also highlighted potential pitfalls to avoid and shared some helpful tips from the RoleCatcher resources.
But we're not done yet. There's still so much more to uncover. In part 2, we'll dive into even more challenging interview questions and continue our exploration of the ICT Product Manager role. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into acing your ICT Product Manager interview. We've got more questions to tackle, so let's jump right in.
Okay, next question. What is your understanding of the product lifecycle? Seems like they want to see the big picture here, not just the day-to-day tasks.
Yeah, exactly. They want to know if you can see beyond the immediate launch and understand the journey a product takes, from its initial conception to its eventual retirement or evolution.
So you need to demonstrate your knowledge of each stage of the life cycle.
Right.
Development, introduction, growth, maturity, and decline.
Exactly. And don't just rattle off a textbook definition. Highlight how your role as a product manager adapts and evolves throughout each phase. For instance, in the development phase, you're heavily involved in market research, defining the product vision, and collaborating with engineering teams. But as the product matures, your focus might shift towards optimization, identifying new market opportunities, and perhaps even planning for the product's eventual sunset.
So it's almost like you're playing different roles,
Yeah.
depending on where the product is in its life cycle.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And to really impress the interviewer, you can sprinkle in examples from your own experience. Maybe you used a specific product roadmap tool during the growth phase to track key milestones and ensure alignment across teams. Or perhaps you had to make tough decisions during the maturity phase to extend the product's lifespan or pivot to a new market segment.
Those real-world examples really bring your understanding of the product life cycle to life.
Absolutely. Now let's think about potential follow-up questions here. They might ask you to delve deeper into a specific stage, discuss challenges you faced in a particular phase, or even how you adapt your approach based on market changes or technological advancements.
So be prepared to showcase your flexibility and your ability to navigate the ever-changing landscape of the ICT industry. Speaking of adaptability, the Career Guide emphasizes how crucial this skill is for career advancement.
It's true. The guide emphasizes the need to be a continuous learner, always seeking out new knowledge and skills to adapt to the dynamic ICT industry. It specifically highlights the importance of staying updated on emerging technologies and regulatory changes, which can significantly impact product development and strategy.
It's a reminder that the learning never stops, even once you land that dream job.
Right.
Okay, let's move on to another question. Tell me about a time you had to make a difficult decision regarding a product. What was your process? This is a classic behavioral question designed to assess your decision-making abilities under pressure.
Yeah.
So how do you avoid falling into the trap of just describing the problem without showcasing your solution and your process?
Use the STAR method we mentioned earlier. Situation, task, action, result. Clearly set the scene, describe the challenge you faced, explain the specific actions you took, and then highlight the positive outcome.
I think having a compelling example is key here. It needs to be relevant to the ICT industry and showcase your ability to make tough calls that impact the product.
Exactly. Maybe you had to decide between investing in a new feature that customers were requesting versus fixing a critical bug that was impacting user experience, or perhaps you had to make a difficult trade-off between budget constraints and meeting ambitious product deadlines.
Those are great examples. And remember, it's not just about the decision itself, but about the process you used to get there.
Right. Highlight your analytical skills, your ability to gather information, your willingness to seek input from others, and how you weighed different factors before making the call. And don't be afraid to mention any lessons you learned from the experience. It shows self-awareness and a commitment to continuous improvement.
That's a great point. It shows that you can learn from your mistakes and apply those lessons to future situations. Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to elaborate on the decision-making framework you used, discuss the long-term impact of your decision, or even ask what you would do differently if faced with a similar situation in the future.
So be ready to delve deeper, showcase your analytical thinking, and demonstrate that you've considered the various implications of your decision.
Exactly. They're looking for someone who can think critically, make sound judgments, and own the outcomes of their decisions.
Before we move on to the next question, I wanted to touch on another career insight from RoleCatcher's guide: specialization within ICT product management.
Oh, that's a great point. The guide mentions that as you gain experience, you might choose to specialize in a particular area of ICT, such as cloud computing, cybersecurity, or telecommunications.
Specializing allows you to develop deep expertise in a specific domain and become a sought-after expert in that field.
Exactly. And this specialized knowledge can be a valuable asset in your career progression, especially when aiming for senior level roles.
All right, let's dive back into the questions. This next one focuses on customer understanding. How do you gather and incorporate customer feedback into the product development process?
Okay, so this question is all about showing your commitment to user-centric design. The interviewer wants to see that you understand the importance of customer feedback and how you actively seek it out throughout the product lifecycle.
It's not just about building products you think are cool. It's about building products that meet the needs of your target audience.
Precisely. And it's not enough to just say, I listen to customers. Showcase the specific methods you use to gather feedback. Surveys, user interviews, focus groups, A/B testing, social media monitoring, usability studies. The more specific, the better.
And it's not just about collecting the feedback. It's about analyzing it, extracting actionable insights, and incorporating those insights into your product roadmap.
Absolutely. Talk about how you prioritize feedback, how you translate qualitative data into actionable insights, and how you communicate those insights to your team.
For example, you could mention how you used customer feedback to inform the design of a new feature, how you pivoted your product roadmap based on user testing results, or how you addressed a critical pain point that was impacting customer satisfaction.
Those are excellent examples. And remember, demonstrate your empathy, your listening skills, and your ability to translate customer needs into product solutions.
I like how RoleCatcher phrases it. They suggest saying something like, I believe that customer feedback is a gold mine of insights. I use a variety of methods to gather feedback, both qualitative and quantitative, and I actively seek out feedback at all stages of the product lifecycle, from initial ideation to post-launch optimization.
That's a strong response because it highlights your commitment to feedback and your understanding of the different types of feedback that are valuable.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to describe a specific instance where you used customer feedback to improve a product, discuss the challenges of gathering and incorporating feedback, or even ask about your preferred tools for feedback analysis.
So be ready to dive deeper, showcase your customer-centric mindset, and demonstrate your ability to translate customer insights into tangible product improvements. Okay, this next question is all about staying ahead of the curve. How do you stay informed about competitor products and industry best practices?
Okay, so this question tests your market awareness and your commitment to continuous learning. They want to see if you're proactively staying up to date on trends and innovations within the ICT industry.
So it's not just about knowing your own product inside and out. It's about understanding the broader competitive landscape and identifying best practices that you can learn from.
Exactly. Show them you're actively engaging with the industry. Mention the publications you read, like industry journals, tech blogs, and market research reports. Talk about the conferences and webinars you attend. Do you follow thought leaders on social media? Mention that too.
Be specific. Instead of saying, I read industry publications, name them. For example, you could say, I regularly read publications like Communications Today and Network World, and I stay updated on cybersecurity trends through blogs like Threat Post and Krebs on Security.
That's a great example. It shows that you're actively seeking out information from diverse sources. And don't forget to mention how you analyze that information. Do you conduct competitive analyses? Do you benchmark your product against industry best practices? Let them know.
What about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to describe a specific competitor you've analyzed. Discuss the challenges of staying ahead of the competition. in the rapidly evolving ICT landscape, or even ask about your thoughts on a particular industry trend.
So be ready to showcase your analytical skills, your ability to synthesize information, and your strategic thinking.
Exactly. You want to demonstrate that you're not just keeping up with the competition, but actively looking for ways to outmaneuver them and deliver innovative products.
Now, before we move on to the next question, I wanted to highlight another point from the career guide, the importance of soft skills in ICT product management.
Yes, the guide emphasizes that technical expertise is essential, but strong communication, collaboration, and problem-solving skills are equally critical for success in this role.
It makes sense. You're constantly interacting with people from different disciplines, explaining complex technical concepts, and navigating complex situations.
Exactly. Those soft skills are what enable you to build consensus, inspire your team, and ultimately drive product success.
All right, let's tackle this next question. What are your preferred tools and technologies for product management?
Okay, so here they want to gauge your technical proficiency and familiarity with the tools of the trade. Be prepared to discuss specific tools for project management, road mapping, wireframing, prototyping, user analytics, A/B testing, and more.
So for example, you could talk about your experience using Jira for agile project management, Balsamiq for wireframing, Google Analytics for tracking user behavior, or Optimizely for A/B testing.
Exactly. And don't just name drop the tools. Explain how you've used them in your previous roles and what value they brought to your work.
You could say something like, I'm proficient in using Jira to manage product backlogs, track sprint progress, and collaborate with development teams. I've also used Balsamiq to create wireframes and prototypes for new product features, which help me communicate my vision effectively to stakeholders.
That's a great example. It shows that you have practical experience using these tools to solve real-world product management challenges.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to compare different tools, discuss the limitations of certain technologies, or even ask about your experience integrating different tools into a cohesive workflow.
So be ready to showcase your technical expertise and your understanding of how these tools can be used to enhance the product development process.
Right. They're looking for someone who's not only comfortable using these tools, but also understands their strengths, weaknesses, and how to leverage them effectively.
Now, this next question delves into your communication skills.
Yeah.
Describe your approach to communicating product vision and strategy to different stakeholders.
All right, this one is all about demonstrating your ability to communicate effectively with diverse audiences.
Because, as we've discussed, ICT product managers work with a wide range of stakeholders, each with their own priorities and levels of technical understanding.
Exactly. You need to adapt your communication style, depending on who you're talking to. Explain how you tailor your message to resonate with engineers, designers, executives, and even customers.
So what are some key things to highlight when answering this question?
Focus on your ability to simplify complex concepts, to paint a compelling vision, and to inspire buy-in from your audience. Talk about your use of visual aids, data storytelling, and tailored messaging to connect with different stakeholders.
For example, you could say, when communicating with executives, I focus on high-level business objectives and use data to demonstrate the potential return on investment. But when talking to engineers, I delve into the technical details and provide clear specifications to guide their work.
That's a great example. It shows that you understand the importance of adapting your communication style to your audience.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to describe a specific communication challenge you faced, discuss how you measure the effectiveness of your communication, or even ask about your preferred tools for collaboration and knowledge sharing.
So be ready to dive deeper and showcase your communication expertise. Now let's move on to a question that explores your problem-solving and innovation skills. Tell me about a time you identified a problem with an existing product and proposed a solution.
Okay, this question is all about demonstrating your analytical thinking, your creativity, and your ability to think outside the box.
So it's not just about maintaining the status quo. It's about actively looking for ways to improve products and enhance the user experience.
Exactly. Think about a time when you spotted a problem that others might have overlooked, and then came up with an innovative solution.
Maybe you identified a usability issue that was causing users to abandon the product. Or perhaps you noticed a gap in the market that your product could fill with a new feature or enhancement.
Those are great examples. Describe the problem, walk them through your thought process, and explain how you arrived at your solution.
And don't forget to highlight the positive impact your solution had on the product or the business.
Right. Quantify your success whenever possible. Did your solution improve user engagement? Did it lead to increased revenue or customer satisfaction? Let them know.
RoleCatcher suggests saying something like, I'm always looking for ways to improve the products I work on. In my previous role, I noticed that users were struggling to complete a particular task within our software. I conducted user research, analyzed the workflow, and proposed a redesign that simplified the process and reduced user errors by 20%.
That's a great example because it highlights a specific problem, a clear solution, and a quantifiable result.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to elaborate on the research methods you used, discuss the challenges of implementing your solution, or even ask about other innovative ideas you have for the product.
So be ready to share your insights and showcase your passion for problem-solving and innovation.
Right. They're looking for someone who can not only identify problems, but also come up with creative and practical solutions.
Now, before we delve into more questions, I want to emphasize the importance of leveraging RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools to personalize your interview preparation.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher offers some incredible AI features that can help you tailor your answers and refine your delivery for specific job roles.
The AI CV and cover letter builder, for example, analyzes your skills and experience and suggests targeted improvements to your application materials, ensuring they resonate with the hiring manager.
It's like having a personal career coach guiding you through every step of the process. And the AI interview practice feature is a game changer for practicing your responses and receiving personalized feedback. It's like having a mock interview with a virtual expert who can pinpoint areas for improvement in your content, delivery, and even your body language.
These tools are incredible resources that can give you a significant edge in the competitive job market. Now let's get back to those interview questions. This next one is a bit more technical. How do you approach A/B testing, and what metrics do you consider when evaluating the results?
All right, so this question is all about demonstrating your understanding of data-driven decision-making. They want to know if you're comfortable using A/B testing to validate your assumptions and make informed choices about product development.
So it's not enough to just have a gut feeling about what will work best. You need to be able to back up your decisions with data.
Exactly. Walk them through your approach to A/B testing. Explain how you define your hypothesis, design your experiment, choose your metrics, analyze the results, and draw conclusions.
Be sure to mention specific metrics that are relevant to ICT products, such as conversion rates, user engagement metrics, or even performance-related metrics like load times and error rates.
Right, and tie those metrics back to your overall business objectives. For example, if your goal is to increase user adoption of a new feature, you might track metrics like the number of users who activate the feature, how frequently they use it, and their overall satisfaction with the feature.
I like how RoleCatcher phrases it. I believe that A/B testing is a powerful tool for product optimization. I carefully define my hypothesis, choose appropriate metrics, and ensure my experiments are statistically sound. I then use the data to make informed decisions about my product.
That's a strong response because it highlights a methodical approach, emphasizes data integrity, and demonstrates a commitment to data-driven decision-making.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to describe a specific A/B test you ran, discuss the challenges of A/B testing, or even ask about your experience with different A/B testing tools and platforms.
So be ready to dive deeper and showcase your analytical expertise and your understanding of how data can be used to drive product success.
Exactly. Data-driven decision-making is a crucial skill for ICT product managers, and this is your opportunity to shine.
All right, let's move on to a question that focuses on stakeholder management and collaboration. How do you handle disagreements or conflicts between different stakeholders?
This is a great question. Conflict is inevitable in any collaborative environment, and they want to see how you navigate those choppy waters.
So it's not about pretending that conflicts never happen. It's about showcasing your ability to manage those conflicts effectively and find resolutions that benefit everyone involved.
Exactly. Highlight your communication skills, your ability to listen actively, and your willingness to find compromise.
Perhaps you could describe a situation where you had to mediate a disagreement between engineering and design teams about the feasibility of a particular feature. Or maybe you facilitated a workshop to gather feedback from different stakeholders on a proposed product roadmap.
Those are great examples. Walk them through your process for resolving conflicts. Do you start by trying to understand each stakeholder's perspective? Do you focus on finding common ground and building consensus? Do you use specific conflict resolution techniques?
And don't forget to emphasize the positive outcome of your efforts. Did you successfully resolve the conflict and reach a decision that everyone could support?
Right. They're looking for someone who can effectively navigate those challenging situations, maintain a positive and collaborative environment, and find solutions that benefit both the product and the team.
Okay, before we wrap up this part of the deep dive, I want to highlight a really helpful feature that RoleCatcher offers. Personalized interview feedback powered by AI.
Oh, yes. This feature is incredibly valuable. You can record your practice answers to common interview questions, and their AI analyzes your responses, providing detailed feedback on your content, delivery, and even your body language.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket, helping you identify areas for improvement and polish your presentation skills.
Exactly. It's an invaluable resource for boosting your confidence and ensuring that you're putting your best foot forward during the interview.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back to tackle more challenging interview questions and explore the world of ICT product management even further. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into those ICT product manager interviews. We've covered a lot of ground, but we've still got some important territory to explore.
Yeah, we have. We've tackled some challenging questions so far, but there are a few more that often trip people up, and we want to make sure you're prepared for anything they throw your way.
All right, let's dive in. This next question can feel a bit tricky. What are your salary expectations? It's a dance, isn't it? Trying to figure out what they're willing to offer, but also making sure you're fairly compensated.
It is. It definitely is. The interviewer wants to know if your expectations align with their budget, but you also don't want to sell yourself short. The key is to approach this question strategically and with confidence.
So what's the best way to navigate this salary conversation?
Okay, first and foremost, do your research. Use resources like RoleCatcher, Glassdoor, or Salary.com to understand the typical salary range for ICT product managers in your location. And with your level of experience, know your worth.
So don't just throw out a number off the top of your head.
Exactly. Consider your own unique skills and experience. What value do you bring to the table? What are your salary requirements to feel valued and motivated?
It's about finding that sweet spot between market research and knowing your own worth.
Precisely. And remember, it's a negotiation. You don't have to give a specific number right away. You can provide a range based on your research. Or even say something like, I'm flexible and open to discussing salary based on the overall compensation package, which takes into account benefits, perks, and growth opportunities.
Right, that keeps the conversation open and allows for some flexibility. Now, what are some common pitfalls to avoid when discussing salary expectations?
One pitfall is undervaluing yourself. Don't be afraid to advocate for what you're worth. On the flip side, overshooting your expectations can also be detrimental. Be realistic and align your expectations with the market data you've gathered.
It's about finding that balance and being confident in your worth.
Exactly. And remember, salary isn't the only thing to consider. Think about the company culture, the opportunities for growth and development, and the overall benefits package. Sometimes those factors can outweigh a slightly lower salary.
All right, good advice. Let's shift gears to a question that can feel a bit intimidating. Tell me about a time you failed. Why do interviewers ask this question? It feels like a trap.
Yeah, it can feel that way, but it's actually a great opportunity to showcase your self-awareness, your resilience, and your ability to learn from your mistakes. They're not looking for perfection. They want to see how you handle setbacks and grow from them.
So how do you turn this potentially negative question into a positive showcase of your skills?
Okay, choose an example where you faced a challenge, made a mistake, or didn't quite achieve your desired outcome. But crucially, focus on what you learned from that experience and how you applied those lessons to future endeavors.
It's about demonstrating that you can own your mistakes, extract valuable insights from them, and use those insights to improve your performance moving forward.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to be honest and authentic. It shows humility and a commitment to growth. Just make sure the example you choose isn't too catastrophic or directly related to the core responsibilities of this role. You want to demonstrate your ability to learn from mistakes, but you don't want to raise any red flags about your suitability for the position.
Right, that makes sense. Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
Okay, they might ask you to elaborate on the specific lessons you learned, how you changed your approach based on that experience, or even how you bounced back from that setback and regained your confidence.
So be prepared to dive deeper and showcase your resilience and your growth mindset.
Exactly. They're looking for someone who can learn from their mistakes, adapt their approach, and come back stronger than before.
Okay, let's move on to a question that explores your long-term vision. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is a classic. but it can still feel a bit daunting.
It can, but it's really just about showing that you've given some thought to your career trajectory, that you're ambitious and motivated, and that you see this role as a stepping stone towards your larger goals.
So what's the best way to approach this question?
Okay, align your answer with the company's goals and highlight how your skills and aspirations can contribute to their success in the long run. You can talk about your desire to specialize in a particular area of ICT product management, your ambition to lead a team, or your interest in exploring new market opportunities for the company.
It's about showing them that you're not just looking for a job, but that you're invested in building a career with their company.
Exactly. And remember, it's okay to express flexibility and openness to new opportunities that might arise within the company. The ICT landscape is constantly evolving, and your interests and goals might shift as you gain experience and exposure.
RoleCatcher suggests saying something like, in 5 years, I see myself as a valuable contributor to company name, leveraging my skills and experience in, and then mention your areas of expertise to drive innovation and growth I'm particularly interested in, and then mention specific areas of interest, and I'm eager to learn and develop within the organization.
That's a strong response because it highlights your commitment to the company, showcases your ambition and areas of interest, and expresses a willingness to adapt and grow.
Now, what about potential follow-up questions?
They might ask you to elaborate on your specific goals, discuss how you plan to achieve them, or even ask about your thoughts on the company's future direction and how you see yourself fitting into that vision.
So be prepared to provide thoughtful insights and demonstrate your alignment with the company's vision. Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools and how they can help you ace your interview.
Oh, absolutely. These tools are incredible resources that can give you a significant edge in the interview process.
The AI CV and cover letter builder, for example, can help you tailor your application materials to the specific requirements of the job. It analyzes your skills and experience and suggests improvements to make your resume and cover letter stand out.
Yeah, it's like having a professional resume writer guiding you every step of the way. And the AI interview practice feature is like having a personal interview coach. You can practice answering common interview questions and receive personalized feedback on your content, delivery, and even your body language.
These tools are game changers, and they can significantly boost your confidence and your chances of landing that dream job.
They can, and I encourage everyone listening to explore these resources and take advantage of the power of AI to enhance their interview preparation.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, exploring a wide range of interview questions, providing insights into the ICT product manager role, and highlighting the valuable resources offered by RoleCatcher.
Yeah, and remember, preparation is key. Take the time to research the company, practice your answers, and showcase your unique skills and experiences. And don't forget to tap into those AI-powered tools to personalize your preparation and gain a competitive edge.
Most importantly, believe in yourself. You got this.
We're confident that with the knowledge and strategies you've gained from this deep dive, you'll walk into that interview feeling prepared, confident, and ready to impress.
That's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive. We'll be back next week with another fascinating topic. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.